Welcome back, Yard Talk. Now I know it's been a minute, but it's cool. It's cool. You know, we still rolling. We still rolling with this shit. We still cameras still on. You know, connections are still being made every fucking day, and the new ones right here. Come on now, like I promise you, we only the artists that we focus on are the ones that I believe are truly going to succeed in their careers. That I want to see succeed. As y'all know, I'm an artist myself. Come on, at this point, y'all should know this shit. It's not even, but enough of that, man. I'm gonna, you know, it's me, Big T, but I'm gonna pass the mic to him. Let him introduce himself. Man, we gonna get to it.
What's up, y'all? This is STAAXZ the Imperfect. I'm from Bronx, New York. I've been basically doing this music thing since I was like 12 years old. Been producing for a minute too, and like I said before, you know, it's all about message for me when it comes to my music. Nothing really more than that. I've been doing this for a while, so I feel like, you know, this is really time for me to just push everything together and make it happen. That's really it for me.
Yeah. You said you said Brooklyn?
The Bronx.
Bronx. Man. Yeah, I'm down. I currently live down in South Jersey, but I'm not from out here. And I'm not from Jersey. No way, no. I don't know if you can tell. I got that Southern accent. I'm from down deep South Texas. Yes, sir. Dallas, Triple D.
I've been down south in Florida.
Oh yeah.
For about 2 years. I lived there for about 2 years.
That seems to be the usual norm on East Coasters. What is it with Florida going down? And I mean, I get a lot of the families in Florida. They move down to Florida, or they move from up Florida to New York. What is that? Because I've noticed that a lot of East Coasters stay on the East Coast.
You know what though? The way my life is, it was kind of crazy because I mean, a lot of it was like personal stuff growing up as a kid, and I somehow just wound up in Florida. You know, my boy, I known him for a minute. I was talking to him on Facebook. I met his name is Tyler T. Rocker. He was talking on Facebook. We met on this group. You know, he's dope producer, dope audio engineer. We wound up just chatting it up, and he was going to Full Sail. He was like he needed a roommate, so I just took that opportunity and went there. It was a pretty great experience though. You know, that's how I learned how to produce and audio engineer and stuff like that through him. So shout out to him.
Yeah, not for real. Shit. Yeah. So with your engineering and producing experience, how's that going for you?
To be completely honest, the producing side of things, I'm still, you know, in search of the sound that I feel like I want. So for now, you know, I just look to other producers, go on their sites, look up beats that I feel like connects to me or speaks to me in a way as an artist, or, you know, whatever I'm feeling at that moment in time. And I just, you know, reach out to them and kind of just, you know, do leases and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing for now. But as far as producing, I'm coming along pretty well. I'm starting to, you know, develop that sound, but in due time. It's just right now I just want to get it through my songwriting and my my rapping for the most part.
Yeah, no, I definitely heard your freestyle. Just gave myself a refresher before you hopped on, man. Real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Real shit. When it comes down to your lyricism, what are some things that you're trying to work at towards that with when it comes down to that?
So I try not to push myself too hard when it comes to writing lyrics. I kind of just let it come to me. When I listen to a certain sound, it's like literally I can go hours and hours, probably an entire day just listening to beats and seeing how it speaks to me in a certain way, which one speaks to me, which one kind of don't. I just do my process of elimination from there. And as far as the whole writing process and stuff like that, I just let it flow, you know, and then once I'm done with it, you know, I see what needs to be adjusted and stuff like that, and, you know, I break it down from there. I don't put too much pressure on myself when it comes to writing songs. That's something that I used to have, you know, done to myself which led to my like I think I had like a writer's block for about 2 years. So yeah, I try not to put too much pressure on myself when it comes to writing lyrics. If it's coming from me in an authentic place, then that's really the most important thing for my music and my songwriting and my lyricism.
No, for sure. Like, my thing is when I'm sitting down writing lyrics and I find that writing instrumental, I start writing and I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, where it's coming from. I just let it go. It just comes out. I'm like, okay. Then I have to sit back and reread what the fuck I just said, see if it makes sense, and if it don't, I try to sit here and understand what the fuck I just said. And that's the thing about music. It's really therapy because you really learn a lot about yourself that you didn't really realize it was really there in the first place too. And that's
right.
That's the exciting part about finding these instrumentals and seeing what sounds that really connect with you.
Right, and I think that's really the beauty of music in general. You never know, what inspiration could come out your next song. It could be, simply as having a conversation with somebody, or you walking down the street and you see a certain object or animal or whatever, and things start coming together in your head that you didn't think would come out. And I think those are the best times to create, even on days where I don't feel like creating, or I feel like I'm going through my depression and stuff like that. I just be like, what, let me take that and let me channel it to my music, because maybe there's someone that might be experiencing what I experienced, or might be living with the choices that I have made, or something like that, so they could take your message and push it further than yourself. My music is always beyond myself, so that's another aspect of my music when I approach it the way I approach it.
Most definitely, man. Real shit. How would you say, growing up around the Bronx, how would you say that has shaped who you are, and how do you put that into your music?
All right. So growing up in New York, I want to say it was my parents were very, very they were good in some aspects, but in other aspects, it was kind of tough with them. How can I put this? It was good and bad at the same time. There's certain aspects of it that I think about from time to time. But as far as being in New York in general, it's a very, very, at the time when I was a kid, it was a very rugged time. A lot of people it was a different time. Like, people were trying to get it how they live it and stuff like that. And then going to school at PS 53 and then Bronx Riding Academy, a lot of friends that I've known, what I'm saying, they have gone through some things too. New York is a very big city. It's different cultures, different people. It's just an endless amount. And if I still believe if you can make it out of New York, which is a very expensive place even now today, you could survive anywhere, to be honest. It's been a while since I've been in New York, but I think about it every now and then. I think about how I grew up and the experiences that I had, and how it shaped me. Is like, it made me work hard. It made me a hard worker. That's one thing I'll give my parents credit for, is that I work hard. I work hard every day. I hustle every day. Everything in any way I can, without giving up my dignity or my self-respect as a man, to make this music stuff happen, with what I got, because it's just me. So for the most part.
Yeah, that's the part of this shit that a lot of people don't really pay attention to, like your daily listeners, that they don't really understand that part, that's it can consume you in different ways. And even
right.
I'm early in my career, officially dropping since last year, but been locked in with the shit for years. But like, and that's one thing I learned is just in talking with so many different artists here on the platform that there's so much to music that, yeah, you can't get lost in the sauce. So, you know, whether it's the fame with it or even just the depth of the music itself, you can definitely get lost in it.
Like, I think after I left New York and I moved to Virginia, I mean, that's when I also, like, it's just, you know, like I said, it's different experiences that I had in different states. Like, I think altogether. So I was born in New York. I moved to Virginia in high school. I moved to Connecticut the first time, and I went to Florida. Then I went back to Virginia, and then I came back here in Connecticut. And I'm moving again. So, yeah, I've been in different places. I think the only place or area I've never been out there is in the West. So I'm kind of thinking about seeing what's out there in the West. But you know, I think a lot of my sound too, and a lot of my styles come from just having different experiences growing up in different, you know, cultures within this country and stuff like that. So that really shaped my sound and how I go about things too, because each, you know, region has their, you know, distinct sound and how they go about, you know, rapping in certain foundations. You know, you could tell where someone's from. So I think that's a big influence on my music.
Yeah, real shit though. Yeah, you know, and even going back to where how you grew up is plays a big part to what your music is and who you are as a person and how you project that through your music, and whether it's producing, engineering, or even your lyricism and actual full-on projects, you know, and even bring that up. What are some of your earliest memories of music being in your life?
Okay, so when I first, it's funny how, you know, my musical taste kind of evolved. When I started listening to music, I actually started off listening to a lot of reggae, like old reggae, like Bob Marley and the Wailers, and you know, around that type of sound. And then eventually I started listening to a little bit of rock music. But as far as hip hop, the first artist that I listened to was a lot of older Kanye West music. I think he was really the first artist that really made me really look into hip hop and its history and stuff like that. Then eventually it became, I want to say, guys like Lil Wayne or T.I. Around that era in the early 2000s. When I was a kid, those artists were very, you know, dominant at the time. And, you know, they were all very talented in their own regards for their own ways. But the main artists that really shaped, the main two artists that I always say that kind of shaped my sound and, you know, my basis for my music is Kendrick Lamar and Tyler, the Creator, those two. And I forgot Andre 3000. Those three artists really kind of shaped my music.
The goated, yeah. Would you say those part of your top 5?
Absolutely, no debate about it. They're definitely part of my top 5.
Yeah, no, real shit though. Kendrick's been having a hell of a run. Tyler's been having a hell of a run. Crazy. Yeah.
Like those were high school days. I remember I had a conversation with my big brother one time with my mom, and we was, you know, this was early in Kendrick and J. Cole's career, and we was, you know, always debating about who was going, you know, be on top. And I was always team Kendrick since, like, you know, the Section 80 days. I think that was the first song. I think the first song I heard from him was I believe it was High Power. That song. That's how I kind of, then I started hearing, you know, Rigor Mortis and think the Monster Freestyle, the remix of that Kanye
you
song.
went back to the C4 and Kendrick Lamar EP. Yeah, that's where.
Yeah, that's
if
how
you
I
locked in with
his
that
music.
shit, yeah, you a real hardcore Kendrick fan.
I'm telling you, I think I'm probably the biggest Kendrick fan in Connecticut.
Man.
I live in Connecticut right now. I'm on the East Coast. Like,
I'm probably the biggest Kendrick fan in New Jersey, but from Texas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Exactly. His music, the way he approaches it, the way he goes about it, the way like his introspective stuff, his raw stuff, he does it all, and it shows. He's reaping the benefits of all of it, and he also did it in a way where he's not sacrificing his own, character or morality, and that's what I respect the most about certain artists.
And even those times that he has, though, he speaks on that through his music, which shows a lot more character, a lot more morality than he leads on to feel like he might not have.
Like honestly, his music is so great, man. Like I've heard every single one of his albums. I couldn't even tell you which one's the best one.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, bro, what's the best Kendrick song? Like, don't hit me with that question. You don't want that.
I couldn't even tell you, bro. Like, even in his albums, I couldn't even tell you because all of them are like, it's just I don't know.
Bro, I promise you, my playlist is mostly filled with every Kendrick song. If I could add on the unreleases on there, unreleased ones.
Oh yeah, the unreleases is fire too. Like, I think the most recent one I heard was Prayer. I think. Yeah. That one was fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a lot of unreleased music that sound great. That's how good of an artist he is, man.
Yeah. Someone was doing the numbers the other day. They really did the math. I was like, oh shit. So they said, so the only reason why Drake has more streams is because he has more songs out. But if they had the same amount of songs, Kendrick is out streaming this man per song.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's crazy because a lot of people try to say that they try to throw the streaming thing with Drake, but like I said, Drake's been in the game since I want to say 2009. I think I was in middle school when Drake came out. Kendrick didn't come out till maybe like 2 years later, and on top of that, Kendrick's process is different from Drake. Drake's type of music is more, easily digestible to a broader audience. Kendrick's music can too, but he just does it in a very authentic way. His music's much more authentic and speaks, compared to Drake's music. Even though Drake is, he can make hits, but if you're going to talk about like staying in power and replayability, Drake has a lot of songs that was like for its time. But Kendrick, his music, you listen to it today, you would think it came out today.
Right. Even like artists like NBA YoungBoy, which I, being from the South, I fuck with NBA YoungBoy, or even Kevin Gates and shit. I get asked, if I were asked between even Drake or just those artists who drop albums after album after album, 3-4 albums a year, and they sit here and somebody comes up to me, oh yeah, this album's a classic. Is it though? Like, I can't really tell that it's a classic because they dropped like 4 other ones the same year.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the word classic gets thrown around pretty easily nowadays. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll know if something's a classic album if you go back to it and you could listen to every single song front to back. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the point where you know what's the next song coming on that album. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel like it's a classic album. Obviously, all of Kendrick's albums are classics. I say a good portion of Kanye's albums are classics. A good portion of Tyler, the Creator's albums are classics. Like, even outside of hip hop, The Weeknd's albums are classics too. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even I can even go further back. Like, Michael Jackson has classic albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, that you could listen to. But like, as far as guys that put out bangers and stuff like that, you could listen to that song off that album, but then you have like 50 tracks that sound kind of similar to the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different lanes. I feel like it's different lanes for different artists. You know what I'm saying? Like some artists are very specialized in creating, you know, that single. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to that album, when you think of that album, you think of that single. Then there's other artists that create an entire body of work where you could pick one song and be like, dang, like I like this song, but then it reminds me of that other song and it makes you go back to that album. So I feel like that's what makes it a classic album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, real shit though. For you, you know, with all these wonderful artists that we fuck with, what would what artists would you love to see work with each other?
Man, I do wanna see a Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, obviously, you know, collab, but something more so left field. Let me see. I know Kendrick and Eminem work together already. I kind of want to see like a posse cut track again. Like back then, I think the last really standout posse cut track was One Train. You know, with ASAP Rocky. That's another one. ASAP Rocky is another big influence on my music. I forgot. Like something like One Train, where you have like the best artists from this era, you know, just, you know, go bar for bar and you know, talk their shit. Like I don't think there's enough tracks like that, you know, nowadays. I don't really hear a lot of those type of tracks, like posse cut tracks. You know, if I were to put names, like obviously Kendrick, we could do like Jid, you know, J. Cole, like, you know, show some love to the up and coming ones too. I think that's how
Mick Jenkins.
You know, those guys, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Get some Larry Jones in there.
Shit, I do it. I would take a Joey Badass Kendrick Lamar collab too. I love Joey Badass and Pro Airs.
Hell yeah. Speaking of Pro Airs, what do you think about that diss track? All the disses going on. I think Rayvon. I'm sorry, Rayvon, you kind of knocked out this one, but So Burger.
You know what? It's great for hip hop, man. Like,
nah, this is that type of diss that everybody really wanted. Like that Kendrick Drake diss was different. It had to be done for certain reasons. Mm-hmm. But this shit with Joey and Saul and Ray and everybody, it's great.
So, how I looked at the entire thing in the beginning, I feel like, you know, Rayvon and Daylight in them, they had the upper hand. But, you know, I think Joey Badass, he did his thing, man. Like he held his own in a huge way, and he did New York proud. Because to be honest, you know, as a New Yorker, I think for a long time our sound hasn't been too great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't mind drill music. Drill music is, you know, cool for what it is, but I don't think that's how we established ourselves, you know, as the mecca of, you know, hip hop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I feel like Joey Badass really restored that feeling through this whole beef. Well, I wouldn't even call it a beef. I would say this whole battle. And he did great. I think he came away with the upper hand, but I ain't gonna lie, Absol is a whole nother entity, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's another tier of rapping that I look forward to, and I want to see how Joey Badass can hold up against Absol, because that's a
for real. That's
a lyricist lyric, you know.
Yeah. That's a rapper's rapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like shit.
I think Absol gonna win that though.
You know? For sure.
I think he gonna win that, man. He's one of the most underrated artists ever. I ain't even gonna lie, like, he's very underappreciated.
Yeah, I've been rocking soul for a long time, and like, he's another heavy inspiration for me. He's just like, knowing Kendrick is inspired by that man. Shit, I'm right with you. I see why.
Nah, for real. Like, even on the Heart Part 6, Heart Part 6 joint, he mentioned Absol, and you know how, you know, his process inspired his, way of going about it. I think I saw an interview actually with I think it was Top Dog. He was talking about how, Ab Soul would just sit there and meditate or something like that, listening to a beat. And he'll just go in the studio, go in the booth and just spit what he, like it's almost another, like a whole entity was in him.
Yeah.
When he raps. And I believe Kendrick picked up on that and kind of did the same thing. So, I like TDE and I like how they go about it. You know what I'm saying? How they go about their music. Like it's like an iron sharpens iron type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Like they all push each other to do great things. I forgot about Schoolboy Q. Schoolboy Q's dope as hell too.
Don't
He's
forget
one of my
about
favorites.
Great
Man.
groovy groupster. Come on, man.
People be forgetting about Schoolboy Q, man. I swear to God.
I never did. Blue Lips, man. It deserved a fucking Grammy, man. At least a nomination. Shit.
It did. That was a very well put together album. He even experimented on certain sounds that he usually don't do. Like, when you hear Schoolboy Q, he's more he puts out bangers and stuff, but this album right here, like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, he really pushed himself out there and like switched his sound up. I actually look forward to hearing more of his music.
Hell yeah. No, real shit though, man. Yeah, that music, it's a crazy time for music right now, man. It's a crazy time for music, but
it needed that though. It needed that.
Yeah, and it needed a lot of this right now. But we gonna be the next forefront. I promise you. With new time, we gonna be the next forefront.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Cause I've been doing this for a minute, man, and I feel like I'll say this: when I started the music thing, there was a few times where I felt like I could have pushed myself a bit more. Kept the momentum going. As I did. Obviously, a lot happened in my personal that, I will be touching on with my music because that's how I normally, address things and address, a lot about myself. It's always through the music. For quite some time, I kind of took myself away from the music, but now that I'm, back into it, going back into the studio and actually recording and actually writing and going, I have the love for it again, and doing stuff like this and being open to connecting with it doesn't even matter to me who it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really look at how some artists, they look at how many followers you got, or, how big is your thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shouldn't really matter if you're really trying to build yourself as an artist. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get too big for their ego. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, not for real though.
It's
even the Yard Talk page, it's not. It has under 500 followers, but that don't mean shit.
Right, but still, at the end of the day, stuff like your podcast and all, it's important. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I can do that, and all the other artists that joined your the Yard Talk, a lot of other artists should. It's an opportunity at the end of the day. You never know who you meet. You know what I'm saying? And
that's exactly why I do this shit. Because
you never know who you meet. Mm-hmm.
I love meeting new artists. It's inspiring for me. I'm learning a lot from y'all. Y'all are learning from me. It goes both ways.
It is, and talking about music with other artists is one of the top things for me. That's another thing I wanted to say. Like, I had to switch up, what I surround myself with. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the terrain of what I want out of myself, music-wise, you know what I'm saying? What I want out of myself as far as how I go about my music career, because I think a lot of pitfall a lot of pitfalls that artists face that I'm glad I didn't, you know, push myself so hard sooner is the people that you surround yourself with. Because a lot of people, you know, they really drain you. You know what I'm saying? They drain you and they take you off your game, and they make you feel like, you know, the music stuff is it's not worth it. And I felt like that for a couple of years until, like I said, now, you know, I don't care. Like, I just do it for the love of it. You know what I'm saying? That love is back, and I don't care what anybody tell me. That's what inspired that freestyle, you know, the Your Smile freestyle. It was the love of it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to share what was going on, and, you know, that song is important. I think it's one of my best songs that I wrote ever. Not gonna lie.
Hell yeah, no, for real. What would you say are some of the other best songs that you have put out, and more your favorite?
You know what? I have a lot of songs that I had put out on the internet that I locked away. And they were great songs. Don't get me wrong, they were great songs. There's this one song called War that I plan on re-releasing. It's like New York at its finest. You know what I'm saying? That was one thing about my, you know, artistry, is that I wanted to, you know, bring that feeling, you know, continue to push that, you know, sound that, you know, we lost, you know, in New York. I love that song, Legendary. That's everybody's favorite song. I think that was the most popular song I ever put out. I think it's been like almost 8 years since I put that song out. It had a music video and everything. I plan on just putting that back out. I think off the top, those are my like 3 favorite songs. But Your Smile freestyle, that's my favorite. That's my number 1 right now, because, you know, it's my evolution. It's an evolution in my lyrics, evolution in my mindset, evolution as me as a person. And I feel like, you know, this new music that I'm gonna put out is really like, you know, this is my strongest going forward.
Yeah. And that's the part that it's the best thing. When you're able to feel your own evolution, it's like, shit, this is it right here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I went through like 50 different name changes in that process. This whole writer's block process. Had to break it down, narrow it down, try to rebrand like 50 times, but, you know, rebrand it in a very authentic way. But a lot of people, when they discovered my music at the time, I used to go by Tsunami, but like I said, I was on hiatus. I was on a very, very long hiatus. By then, like, you know, I lost in the sauce. So I was like, let me just go ahead and, you know, now that I'm a little older, you know, I need to, and you know, I've experienced life and I experienced the highs and lows of it. Let me just go ahead and you know, switch it all up and, you know, give them, you know, basically me. When I was younger, I was looking at it in the sense of, okay, I got to do it like this. I think this is the way. The entire time I was putting myself in a box, you know, and stifling my creativity. Now I'm just like, man, fuck it. Like, it's music. Like, that's the best music to create is when you are just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Without putting expectations on yourself. Expectations kill a creative mind.
Yeah. No, real shit though. And you just gotta go when it comes down to this shit. You just gotta do it. Just do it. I mean, like I said, when I'm writing music, you just, and you have those moments you don't think about what you're writing. I promise you, in the end, it's gonna look great.
Right. And you know, you hear a lot of artists say, like, when they put out a certain song and they didn't like it. You know, sometimes those songs that they don't like turn out to be one of their biggest songs. You know what I'm saying? Like I think one song, I think it was by I think Method Man and Redman, the Rockweiler. That song, I think from what I heard, the story that I heard was that Redman didn't like the song, but Method Man did. And Redman was like, nah, we ain't putting that out. Method Man wanted that to be put out. So, you know, even if Redman didn't feel like that song was strong, it's one of their most popular songs together, if not the most popular song together. So, you know, even I think I'll go as far as Michael Jackson when he did the whole, you know, Thriller music video. People regard it as the greatest music video of all time, you know. But for a moment in time when it came out, I think Michael Jackson hid himself in the closet because he was I think a Jehovah's Witness or something like that, and whatever depiction was in the video, he was just not messing with it. He felt like everybody was about to trash him for it. But you know, you just got to go for it and really take that leap of faith and not think about what anybody says, especially in the internet. A lot of people on the internet be chatting. That's all they do. They chat. They chat. You know, certain people in the internet chat, talk down.
Just like what SZA said, chat.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. I don't pay attention, man. Like, if there's ever a day I put my, you know, I'm in a position where, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people, you know, because when you're doing the music stuff and you're growing and you're building your fan base and you're building those connections with those people, you know, a lot of people you're gonna come across a lot of people that don't like your music, regardless of what you do, regardless of how great it is, how widely regarded it is. You're gonna have those people that's gonna talk mad trash, and I've learned not to pay attention to it. You know, I've learned to just keep on going. Half of the time I don't even be on social media. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a young old head. You feel me? Like, I don't even be on. I be away from the social media as much as possible. Try to, you know, go out and, you know what I'm saying, like, only use social media for stuff like this, you know, for opportunities like this. So that has definitely changed my creativity, you know, tenfold when you are away from social media. It's hard because you have to, as an artist, to use social media. You got it. That's important.
Yeah, it is. That's true. What would you say is the best advice given to you? Now, this doesn't have to just pertain to music, but it can pertain to anything.
The best advice someone has ever given to me was, believe it or not, as much as, like, you know, our relationship is not close, my father told me that it is a dog-eat-dog world at the end of the day. And I knew what he was saying, but I just didn't know what he meant by that. And now that I know and I experienced what I experienced and I seen what I seen, it is a dog-eat-dog world. Like, at the end of the day, you really gotta fend. The only person that could really support you is you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? The only person that can, you got to be your own biggest supporter. It sounds cliche, but that's what it really is. You know, because if you don't support yourself, if you don't put that, you know, energy in yourself, if you don't put that good word and good faith and good anything in yourself, then, you know, what comes out of it, people ain't gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, and it requires, you know, being around other people that see your vision and understand your vision and hear your vision and can picture it with you, you know, because they have that same understanding as you. But, you know, trying to force it with other people that, you know, don't care or, you know, don't understand it, you know, they just, you know, you gotta push them to the side. You know, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Some people there's a lot of opportunists out there that is willing to, you know, take everything you got and destroy whatever you got, just because, you know, for whatever rhyme or reason. So I think that's the most important thing I've learned as a person, you know, as a human being and as a man. At the end of the day, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Yeah, real shit though. And I gotta say, man, you flew through a lot of these questions, man. I love it though. But what that brings us closer to the end of the main questions. But also, after that, we have three interesting subjects, specifically finish the lyric. And that's gonna be sometimes, you know, hey, we can push through that, but you know, but also versus series as artist versus artist, group versus group, song versus song, so on and so forth. And then first thing comes to mind, pretty simple, you know, one word, and then whatever you're thinking immediately. But we are going to kill these last few questions for sure and get closing up on this, man. You had a lot to say, and I love it. I love it. Shit is open-minding for me. Like, it's... We know what I'm trying to say. Okay.
I appreciate it, man. I already know what you mean.
Shit. Real shit. Real shit, though. But what would you say are some of your own strengths and weaknesses?
My strengths is that, you know, I'm very intuitive. I always help people, you know, any way I can. Very reliable. I'm a hustler's hustler. When it comes to anything I put my mind into, I don't give up on what I do. You know, to the point where I'm like almost Kobe Bryant levels of success when it comes to what I want. So there's that. I say my biggest weakness. A lot of people always tell me this since I was a kid. I could be quite the hothead. I'm not gonna lie, I could be quite the hothead. And what I mean by that is that certain people that I know, you know, you ever come across somebody like, you know, you don't know them, like you don't bother nobody, and then, you know, somebody walk in and they try to antagonize you or try to get you out of character. I think I would say that's my weakness, but I've been working on that lately. I think that was a big thing for me. I had to not give, you know, my enemies any type of reason to say, yeah, see, I knew he was that type of guy. So I say that'd be my only weakness, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Now, are there any other local artists you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. We got Instagrams. Shout out to RG's on Getsu. He's a dancer in Philly. Being a dance scene in Philly. I think you said South Jersey, right? I think he's from Jersey too. Shout out to him. Shout out to Chase Be Quiet. Shout out to there's a lot of them. Shout out to T Rocka. Shout out to trying to keep. There's a lot of them out of my head. I'm trying to remember. Shout out to my audio engineer David Beatty. Yeah, I think that's off the top of my head. If I forgot, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Regardless, man, definitely going to be listed off in the description. Y'all got to go check it out. Everything about this man in the description as well, man. But we're going to go ahead and get down to it. First, we have finish the lyrics. I'm at least going to let you know the name of the artist. That way you can figure out the name of the song. And yeah, we're going to get to it. First, we have Kanye. It's something that you need to have, because when she leave your ass, she going to leave with half.
She gonna leave with half. Damn. It's crazy because I know the song too. It's from Gold Digger, right?
Yep.
Damn. I ain't even gonna lie, I can't finish that lyric. It's been ages.
18 years. 18 years. No, not 18th birthday. No, it wasn't his.
18 years. 18 years.
Yeah. We got Michael Jackson. People always tell me, be careful what you do. And don't go breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love.
Hold on, I got you right now. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Because lie becomes the truth. I think it's because that's what you stop that. Be careful what you do,
Yes.
or be careful who you love.
Be careful who you
Because the
love.
lie becomes the truth.
Be careful who you love.
And be careful what you do, because lie becomes the truth.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. We got Ice Cube. Just want to wake up. Just waking up in the morning. Gotta thank God. I don't know, but today seems kind of odd.
Barking from the dogs. No smog.
Okay.
Your mama cooked breakfast with no hog.
Yeah.
I can keep going with that song. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay. We got Deborah Cox. So I placed my heart under lock and key to take some time and take care of me. But I turn around and you're standing here.
Place my heart under lock and key. I ain't gonna lie. People might kill me for this. I do not know that song. I feel like if I hear it, I might recognize it.
But you're standing here. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to.
Oh my God, yo. Yo, I forgot about that song. Damn. I used to hear them shits on the commercial when I was in New York.
Yeah. Alright, we got Louis Armstrong. I see trees of green, red roses too, for me and you. And I think to myself.
And then I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I know that song.
For sure. Alright, we got Chris Brown song, but it's a Lil Wayne verse on it, huh? Man, fuck these bitch ass niggas.
Okay.
How y'all doing? I'm a little tushy. I'm a nuisance.
I go stupid, I go dumb like the Three Stooges.
Yeah. Alright, since you a big K-Dot fan, man, you shouldn't miss this one up at all. Should get the whole song down if this one. Alright. If Pyrus and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song.
They probably got me down by the end of the song. Seeming like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street. I hear yeah.
Man, down. Where you from, my nigga? Fuck who you know. Where you from, my... Yeah. Okay. Now we got...
I could go verse for verse on that,
man.
We got back. Verse to verse.
Yeah, hell yeah. We got an Erykah Badu song. There's only 4 names that you gotta guess. See, every time you come around, you gotta bring.
Every time you come around, you gotta bring Tyrone.
That's one name, but who are the other names?
Damn, who are they? Wait, hold on. Tyrone.
That's the
I know Paul.
Okay.
There's 2 more. Fuck. Is it Jim and James?
Mm-hmm. Jim, James, Paul, and Tyrone. We got Tupac song.
Almost messed.
We got Tupac song. I'm a straight rider. I won't deny it.
You don't want to fuck with me?
Yeah.
Got the police fucking with me.
We got a Biggie song. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Salt and pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine.
Pictures on my wall. Every Saturday. Magic Molly Mall. Yeah. And that brings us to the Versus series. Yes. Lord, let's get to it. So first we have Temptation versus the Isley Brothers.
Damn. Okay. The Isley Brothers.
Okay. NWA or Wu-Tang?
Damn. I gotta go Wu-Tang. I love NWA though.
Okay. Good Kid, Mad City or All Eyes on Me?
Oh man, that one's gonna fuck my head up. Damn. They both great albums. Alright, I'm gonna say gonna say Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay. Brent Faiyaz or Sir?
Brent Faiyaz.
Okay. We have Illmatic or The Score by the Fugees.
Damn, this one hurt my feelings. Damn, they both classics. You know what? I'm gonna go Illmatic.
Okay. Mary J. Blige versus Lauryn Hill.
Ooh. They both can sing and rap. Both of them. I'm gonna say even though Lauryn Hill, you know, that album is Educational. Lauryn Hill, one of the greatest albums of all time. Mary J has longevity. You know, she's put out more stuff. I'm gonna go Lauryn Hill though.
Okay. We got Aquemini by Outkast and Demon Days by Gorillaz.
I love Outkast, Aquemini.
Okay. TLC versus Just a Child.
TLC for sure.
Nicki Minaj versus Lil Kim.
Ooh. I'm gonna go, even though I feel like if both in their prime, I feel like Lil Kim would win. We're gonna talk about overall, hit for hit. I'm gonna say Nicki Minaj.
Okay. Dej Loaf or Remy Ma.
Damn. I'm gonna say Remy.
Okay. Drew Hill or Jodeci.
Damn. I'm gonna say Jodeci. I like Jodeci.
Okay. Death Certificate by Ice Cube or The Blueprint by Jay.
The Blueprint.
Blue Lips or Big Fish.
Damn, we talking Schoolboy and Vince Staples, huh? All right. Damn, both albums are great. Blue Lips though. I'm gonna say Blue Lips.
Okay. TDE or Dreamville.
TDE.
Escape or SWV.
I'm gonna say SWV.
Okay. MJ versus Prince.
Damn. If you want to talk about overall, I say MJ. I love Prince though. It's close though, really close.
Hell yeah. Queen versus Elton John.
Queen versus Elton. Shit. I'm gonna say Elton John.
Okay. We got Nevermind by Nirvana and Masters of Puppets by Metallica.
I'm a Nirvana person, so I'm gonna go Nevermind.
Okay. We got Johnny Cash versus Elvis.
Damn, it's like two different styles, opposite. I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Johnny Cash. Even though Elvis, I know has some bops.
Hell yeah. Yeah, okay. Now that brings us to first thing comes to mind. Starting off with color.
Color, like favorite color?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna say Hunter Green.
Okay. Place.
Florida.
Country.
Jamaica.
Food.
Shit. Sweet potato pie.
Whew. Yes, Lord. Smell.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with that. Febreze.
Okay. Sound.
I have cats, so the sound of cats.
Alright. Song.
Song right now. I'm gonna say Until the End of Time by Tupac.
Okay. Shoe.
I'm gonna say Vans or New Balances. Those two.
Team.
The Knicks, even though they suck right now.
And hero.
Favorite hero? Spawn. Even though he's an anti-hero. Spawn.
Yeah, hey. Okay. Yeah, that's the first one. Okay. And that brings us to the end of the interview. A couple more questions though. What's next for you?
I'm putting out more singles. Just working my way back. I do have another song coming out, I would say during the summer, that I'm gonna be pushing. Once I feel like, there's enough, for me to a project out, there will be a project, because I already finished up a project. So I'm just I'm doing that right now. That's the process right now for me.
Now,
and also check out Your Smile Freestyle.
Hell yeah, y'all definitely gotta get to that, man, for sure. Real shit. Links in the description to where to find him on socials and all that. Come on, man, I gotta get to it. Real shit. Like your smile is on replay for sure. For sure.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now, do you have any questions for me?
You said you are an artist, so I wanna where can I check out your music?
All platforms, yes sir. I probably can show you right after this for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I want to check them out.
Okay, yeah. But that brings us to the end of this, man. It has been great doing this, man. And I gotta say, we're gonna keep them coming. Alright, y'all talk. We're gonna keep it coming. But y'all already know what it is.
For sure.
Man, it's been me, Big T, and
that's the Imperfect.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, deuces.
Yo, this song I'ma write. Where do I begin? So many times I sin, temptations I give in. I wonder if there's something in this life that I could give. Or when the day I died, did my spirit win? I went through much abuse back when I was young. Stuck in solitude, mom and pops called me a bum. Every single tear I shed, I hated people more. Every last that I bled,